Hi guys, it's Elaine here from One&Only Pro again, and today's video is really just going to be talking and having a bit of discussion about property education.
Okay Elaine, so what is property education?
So property education is invaluable. Education and information are very important, and they're such good things to have behind your back, especially when you're going into property, because there are some people that don't even know what a mortgage or an interest rate is, and others might, but it's something that you need to learn all of it really. And there are big courses out there that do this sort of thing for you, and they cost lots of money and they teach you everything, but you don't need to go for those. There are smaller courses available, or there's lots of stuff on the internet and different books and stuff, because they're all really helpful and you can do your own research that way. I know for instance, Property Tribes is a good place to get some sort of information, and ourselves as well, we have some information on the site.
Okay, and what good education courses are out there?
So I'd say Property Investor Network is a good one. Simon Zushi's been out for a while now. Progressive Property, they're all really good courses, and they have lots of resources and information. They're really good. I would say if you don't have a lot of money, it's not worth spending 15,000-20,000 on a big course, whereas if you do have like 200,000-300,000, it's probably more worth your time to spend the money on the courses to learn stuff. We do hear a lot of stories and see a lot of stuff about people who tend to spend 15,000 on a credit card to go on a course in the hopes to get rich quick, and it doesn't work out, and then they're stuck in a bad situation.
Okay, and what about books?
So with books, I'd say the Rich Dad Poor Dad series is great, especially the first four. They're really good books. And I'd say Awaken Your Financial Genius is a good book as well. With books and stuff, there's a lot of them out there, so it's just finding the one that's right for you to read and go through, because there is a lot of information, but those are the ones I'd suggest.
So what do you think is invaluable to do?
So I think it's invaluable to just get started really, because you learn so much when you get started and when you start to do stuff. Obviously if you're doing research and you're looking up and educating yourself as you do it, that's even better, because you're getting everything that you've educated yourself with and you're applying it to what you do, so that's so much better as well. For our algorithm actually, we did a lot of research into doing it, and we found out a lot of information, and we looked at property books going back 100, 200 of years really.
As you mentioned, researching 100 to 200 years ago, how would you say property has changed in that time?
So I'd actually say properties stayed the same really. The basic principles are the same back then as they are now. For instance, there's a guy who's doing really well at the minute on YouTube, and his name is Samuel Leeds, and people do say negative things about him, but we like to focus on the positive. And the fact is, he's a really positive person, and he's trying to make property simple for everybody. And the funny thing about Samuel Leeds is he learned from Simon Zushi, who took a course with Ty Grant, and Ty Grant's a offspring of Rich Dad Poor Dad, and he's also a student of Russ Whitney, who was a student of Robert Allen, and it keeps going back and back right to the Depression era. And what's funny is we've read books from the Depression era and stuff, and the basic principles are exactly the same. All the lease options and stuff like that, it's exactly the same now as it was then. The only difference is if somebody was buying a hotel back then, it might have been 300,000, whereas nowadays it might be 3 million, but the whole principles are still the same.
Okay, so what would you say your thoughts are on property education?
I'd say property education is very important, and it's always good to get lots of different sorts of education and having different opinions, so that way you can figure out what's best for you and find the right resources for you. We are trying to make on our system currently an FAQ sort of centre and an advice centre where people can ask questions and they can be answered. But overall I'd say a lot of education is down to finding what's best for your avenue, because property might not be the best for everyone. Some people it might be stocks and shares, some people it might just be saving money. So education is a lot as well about finding what's good for you and not just educating yourself about property.
Okay, thank you Elaine.
You're welcome. So I hope you've enjoyed watching this and you've learnt some stuff. Don't forget to follow us on our social media, Facebook, Twitter and LinkedIn, which I'll put in the description. Thanks for watching guys.